Hello and welcome to your channel, Story of History. Last week we started to talk about the independence period of many countries, and today we are going to talk about the independence period of the United States and the Honduran process of independence. And for that, I invited someone that has a master's degree in the United States history. Her name is Delmi Lemus, and she is going to talk about us the history of the independence of the United States. So, Delmi, can you tell us how did the American Revolution process began?
Everything started with a fighting between people from Great Britain and Americans. It was in the 1775. First of all, it was in Lexington and then at Concord, Massachusetts. When they arrived to Concord, Massachusetts, Americans obligated people from Great Britain to escape because they wanted to appropriate from military property.
Well, you say that the American Revolution starts with a war with the British and the US people. But what were the principal causes of the revolution?
Yes, there were three principal causes of the American Revolution. The first one was the foundation of the colonies. The second one was the French and Indian War. And the third one was taxes and laws.
And in this important process of the American Revolution, who were the important figures in this process?
The most important figures of the American Revolution were people like Thomas Jefferson, also George Washington, Patrick Henry, and Benjamin Franklin. They lead this important movement.
So, what were the causes of the American Revolution led on independence?
There were three causes that led American independence: the Stamp Act, the Boston Massacre, and the Townshend Act.
And the most important question that our viewers have is when the America was independent.
Can you imagine this immemorial event happened exactly on July 4th in 1776? The Congress approved by majority of votes the Declaration of Independence and of course the separation of the colonies from Great Britain. And at that time the president wasn't George Washington and the vice president wasn't John Adams. It was one of the most important days in the United States that until now we can remember. You have already heard what happened in the United States, but we want to know what happened in Honduras independence. Could you please share with us, because you are an expert, why they decided to independence from Spain?
Well, the principal reason that makes the political leaders in Honduras and in also all Central America was that they wanted more control in the clergy and also in the money so they can control the population, and for that reason they took the independence from the Spanish crown.
When happened the independence of Honduras from the Spanish conquest?
Well, the history says that are two important dates because in 1821 they get the independence from Spain, but in 1823 they were added to Mexico and they were a province of Mexico.
Now tell us, how was the independent process in Honduras?
Well, in Central America, the independence came in a pacific manner. They have to write a Declaration of Independence that was written by Jose Cecilio del Valle and signed with the political leaders that were. And this independence was pacific, not like the US independence, for example, because in US they have to fight for their territory, but in Central America they only have to sign a document that declares their independence.
Who were the important figures of Honduras' independence?
The most important leaders in this process were Dionisio de Herrera, that was the first president in Honduras, Francisco Morazan, that was a leader who wants to unify the other countries in Central America and made the Central America Federation, and Jose Cecilio del Valle, that was who writes the Declaration of Independence.
Tell us what happened after the Declaration of Independence was signed.
After signing the Declaration of Independence, Honduras separates from the Central America Federation in 1838 and starts their way to become an independent country, in which Marco Aurelio Soto was their first official president after the independence from Mexico and from Spain also. Thank you for your attention.